Hello everyone, and welcome back to another J&K discussion. I'm Jammer.
I'm Kirilov.
We have a special guest today, Sashema. So earlier this morning, Nintendo of Japan recently released their second direct for the upcoming game, Xenoblade Chronicles X. So what are your first overall impressions, guys?
Well, after watching a little bit of the trailer, I thought it was really interesting to see how it played with the party system and the different type of things that they incorporated within that.
So Kirilov and I are very unfamiliar with this series, so that's why we brought Sashema along with us, since she has played the original version. So,
well, it's really updated. The gun's gonna be a totally new thing to me because I'm used to swinging around a sword.
Yeah, in the original there was no guns.
Yeah.
So, in comparison to the original, besides the gun, what other comparisons and differences do you see so far?
Well, first off, graphics. Like, they're so pretty.
Yeah, they are. One thing I want to point out is the monster designs. What is your overall thoughts?
I love it. I think that some of these monsters look fantastic. My favorite is actually the bird with all the eyes.
Oh, with the little hands and the...
Yeah.
Shooting like bubbles or something.
All I could think of was like when he flies over or something, that he's just like, I see everything.
Oh, it's great.
The rabbit things look familiar, and but it does remind me of Monster Hunters, though.
I can agree with that, actually. It's really interesting to see how they can both be somewhat tied together, if not relatable in many ways.
Exactly. Like with this game, it's a lot more upscaled than the original game. The world is bigger. The monsters are just way bigger. It's just more of a it's like an epic film. You know what I mean? Large landscapes, huge creatures. You know what I mean?
The environments seem really cool, and that's a bonus because with the other game, for the first few levels, you're kind of on a linear path.
Yeah.
This seems a little bit more free roam.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're talking about. It kind of feels like the new thing that they're doing, though, with the open world, bigger monsters. And I love it because it gives you that aspect of, hey, I'm not the same size as like this dragon that I'm supposed to be terrified of.
Yeah.
It's like, no. These guys are huge. I'm the potato in this game.
So, believe it or not, this game is 5 times bigger than the original, taking up 22.7 gigabytes of hard drive space. This game is huge. It is the biggest Wii U game to date. It would practically fill up your entire deluxe system hard drive with this one game alone.
Now, I'm just going to say this. I look at my Xbox One, and my games are taking up like 25 gigs, and I feel like that's massive. I'm looking at the Wii U, and I'm thinking, there's no way that someone's going to be willing to download that all.
That is a huge game.
That is
like,
massive for Nintendo.
After you download that, you really only have... Well, it's a 32 system, then you got 10 left over, but that's minus 5. So you only have 5 gigabytes left over if you download it to a deluxe system.
Well, hey, at least you have some room for the Mii's.
Because that's the essential, the Mii's.
The Mii's.
So what do you think about the little combat hotbar system?
I think it'd be better to, instead of having to, it will be probably resemble White Witch, like with Twitch play, because you have to be really quick with selecting all the skills and stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be challenging unless like you have a quick hand.
Yeah, learning curve.
Yeah.
So, I do like the combat hotbar in a way. Like I said, or like you've mentioned, we're not fully
understanding of
the game.
Because it is in Japanese so far.
It is in Japanese, but for me, it kind of raised that question on how's it going to be played with that hotbar. Is it going to be relying on the little gamepad, which I would imagine, which will probably make it a lot easier, but just the layout of the gamepad isn't my favorite thing.
There's this one part where they actually show this sort of a skill tree section where it displays each of your 4 categories with your sword, your gun, your block, and your, we assume, Argo or Scare or whatever. Taunt maybe. And then there's kind of like a skill tree where you can upgrade and go through and choose different skills from those trees to put onto your hotbar. Then you can use those as individual or team attack skills. And then they have their little cooldown meter, and then there's only certain ones available during certain situations, and etc.
Seems you can customize a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, I think it's important to have that kind of diversity and leveling kind of system integrated with those. I do really like that team attack thing that was shown. I think that'll be really fun. There's a lot of games that have kind of trailed away from that in a way, where we don't see it as much, but it'll be nice to get that back.
My question from earlier, I forgot to talk about it, but with the integration of the gun, which wasn't in the first game, do you think that they'll balance it correctly for this new game? Like in some other games where guns are introduced, like Fable, for example, that is the definitively best weapon of choice. There's no point going in for sword combat. Do you think they'll balance it correctly here, or do you think it's going to be a little bit breaking, or how do you think they're going to adapt it here?
I think it just depends on the monster, because they might have made some monsters to where you have to use certain weapons. Like some of them you'd probably have to shoot them down, or some of them you have to go in for close combat because like they're weak against
sword play, or
because I noticed when they were fighting one of the monsters, it kept saying resist, 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 which meant that like probably the monster was defending against it.
Yeah, like bulletproof almost or something.
So kind of like I'm gonna say Persona in that aspect, where like sometimes like gun attacks won't work, so you have to use like a lance or something that will be super effective.
Yeah, exactly.
Just through what I've watched, my hope is that maybe there's going to be monsters that are better suited to fight with the sword, better monsters to fight with the gun, and I hope that through that there's going to be the balance, but in the end I feel like just in general, having the sword or the gun, a lot of people are going to go for that range, and then if it comes down to the last minute, pull a Fable and whip out the sword.
So, exactly. I mean, like, what's the point of going in close to danger yourself when you can stand it back and do the same amount of damage?
Exactly.
You know? So, is there any final thoughts you want to wrap this up with?
I'm just excited for it to come out, really.
Yeah.
I won't really know until I actually get my hands on either a demo copy or the actual copy, but so far it looks pretty good, and the combat looks drastically improved.
Yeah.
Though I'm probably going to end up being a sword user because
Just used to it.
I'm used to it, and also with these kinds of games, I'm more of like, let's get close and personal instead of the only time I'll probably ever use the gun is like if I'm too chicken to get near the damn thing.
Running around like shooting like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Entire team is dead and no potions.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have to say that the game looks beautiful overall. There's a lot to it. I'm amazed with the memory capacity that it requires.
Can't believe it's a Wii U game.
Can't believe it's a Wii U game. So good job Wii U, good job Nintendo. You did something right.
That's great. Alright, so this game will be released April 29th in Japan, rumored for a summer release for the West. Whether that'll happen or not, we'll see because of all the voice translations. This game is huge. It has well over 300, maybe even 600 hours of gameplay, if not more. You know what I mean? So just to translate all that text and all that voice acting, it'll take a little while. I'll see. What I see, I think it might come out this summer. I was thinking at the end of the summer, though. What do you think?
I could believe that at the end of the summer. It seems a little bit more realistic in that sense. Just releasing it. I mean, if they did release it earlier on in the summer, that'd be great for their sales. But
speaking of the West, though, when do you think we're going to get any information directed to us? So far, Japan has 2 directs for this game. The last time we've actually heard of it was in the fall direct when it was majorly covering Majora's Mask. But they had a small little clip in there, a little CGI, showed off the little Transformer robot thing. And then before that, it was just at E3, and that's technically all the West has gotten so far. Japan's already gotten 2 specific directs to this game. So it's obviously got a bigger audience there, but when do you think we're going to start seeing stuff for us?
So, when are we going to see stuff for us? That's a great question. We won't. Nintendo's fully pulled out. They've quit on us. No,
I was thinking
they'll come up eventually.
I was thinking maybe the next direct. When that'll be, I'm not sure. We had our last one in January, and then what do you think? Maybe
we have PAX East coming up soon.
That's true. They could maybe do something there. I don't know if they'll do something about this. This just isn't. I don't know. The audience really isn't that big here. It's big enough, but it's very limited. It's a very kind of small fan base. It's starting to get its own audience now with Shulk being in Smash and stuff like that. But I'm projecting maybe at the end of this month, maybe next month, we'll start hearing word about a Direct coming out. We'll talk about the Mario Kart 8 DLC, Mewtwo and Smash, maybe some more about Splatoon that's supposed to come out at the beginning of the summer. Maybe finally some word on Yoshi's Woolly World that was supposed to be out a long time ago, but has been being pushed back again and again and again, pulling a Watch Dogs on them.
Pulling the Watch Dogs. Whew. It's not really a good sign of my experience, but that happens.
If you like this video, be sure to like, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description below. As always, leave a like and a comment to this video. We'd love to hear your thoughts and impressions on this as well. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.